Hey, happy Monday, and welcome to another edition of 365 Inspirational Quotes with me, your life coach, Teena Jones. How was your Monday? I hope it was happy, but if it wasn't, you know what to do. It's time to check that off and go next, move on to the next moment. Thank you for joining me, each and every one of you. And if you're new, welcome aboard. I want to give a shout out to all my day one people that started with me from the beginning, and now we're at day number 9. It's a lot of work when you institute something new into your daily routine. So if you've been sticking with me, I want to give you a hand clap of praise for doing that, for being disciplined and sticking through something that you set out to do with me. And we're on this journey together. All right. Get your pen, get your notebooks, get your iPad, whatever it is you take notes with, and let's get busy with today's quote. This one is another exciting quote that I love, and it's very, very short, and it's called Play Through It. Play through it. And it's by Miles Davis. Now, I know some of you may be going, play through it. Well, about 10 years ago, I was watching a documentary on PBS, and it was about the great jazz musician Miles Davis. And some of his band members early on were talking about his genius, and when at some point, he went from traditional jazz music playing that way to a more acoustic jazz. He kind of changed his sound up. And so one of the band members was talking on the documentary, and he was his bass player. He played the bass for Miles Davis. So they were getting ready to unveil their new sound. And when they got ready to unveil the sound, they began to play. Miles began to play. And the audience began to boo, throw toilet paper, glasses, plates, forks. They did not like it. They wanted the same old Miles Davis. They were like, what is this? No, we don't want this. Boo, boo. He said it was scary. The bass player, he was like, should we, pack up and leave? He was looking at Miles. He was looking at other band members to kind of get a signal like, guys, this is not good. And then all of a sudden, while the drummer started his little part in the whole genre of the music, Miles stopped playing the horn, walked over to him, and said, play through it. He looked at him perplexed, like, what? And Miles looked at him firmly and said, play through it. So that's what he did. He went back to playing the bass guitar. He said about 5 minutes passed, and all of a sudden it got quiet. And as they played, at the end of the set, they had a standing ovation. And I thought, wow, that story gave me goosebumps. It made the hair on the back of my neck just stand up. Like, oh my God. And he said later on, they were all talking, and Miles told them the importance of change, and that oftentimes the people may not dig it at first. They want the same thing, but it's your job to play through it. They'll catch up, and of course, I got that law of attraction, spirituality, metaphysics thing going in my mind. I'm thinking that's how it is in the universe. When you begin to change, like institute these quotes, say affirmations, begin to use your imagination to focus on what you do want instead of what you don't want, you're going to get resistance. You're going to get pushback. One of your closest people you're closest to, whether it's your child, your spouse, your boyfriend, your mama, your sister, they're going to may challenge you. Because keep this in mind. This is why it happens. When the new you is trying to emerge and be born, the old you doesn't want to die. The ego in you doesn't want to die. Your old habitual self, it's trying to survive. Like anything else, it wants to live. And so it brings up certain things trying to provoke you to get off track, trying to provoke you to go dark, trying to provoke you to stay in fear, because it doesn't want to die. And the only thing you have to do is remember what Miles Davis said. Play through it. Continue to affirm. Continue to write your affirmations. Continue to visualize. That is the time to really do it. That's how you know it's working. When things seem to be going against you, all of a sudden you're doing the work, you're meditating, you're doing all the right tools, and all of a sudden somebody at work is a little off, says something a little off. Things are kind of, maybe things with your bills, with your money, something. Don't drop into your knee-jerk fear reaction. It's nothing but a test. And you have to pass the test. Play through it. I'm going to give you one more example, a real life example that happened to me. And I was working at this place. This was years ago. I used to work at a Cadillac dealership. This was way before I was on the radio. And I was positive then, wrote affirmations and all that kind of good stuff. And one of the things I used to do is type up affirmations and hang them up around the dealership. That was to encourage the salespeople, the people that worked at the dealership, our customers, and it just kind of set the tone for a good vibration. So I did that from really when I started. I got permission from my manager and I started doing it, and it really helped the vibration of the place. Well, one guy, he was like the porter where he would move cars around, and he was responsible for the inventory of the dealership. And we had a massive dealership. Okay, so he had a big responsibility. If cars were out for test driving or out for service, he knew where every vehicle was. And we may have 1,000 cars at one given time. So he had a big job. But he was a little surly, and everybody knew he was surly, right? So on one occasion, I really wanted to practice what I'm teaching you right now. And at that stage in my life, I was doing this new technique called I love you. Any situation that brought up discontent, brought up a negative vibration for me, I would just silently send love to it. I would go, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. And what I was doing was saying, I love you to that emotion that came up. That emotion where normally I react out of retaliation or I react from anger. Instead of reacting out of anger, I just would repeat, I love you, I love you, I love you. So if someone where I felt offended me and I normally would say something back, instead of going outside of myself, I started doing this. And I liked how I felt. It's like that feeling dissipated. I felt powerful. And so on one occasion, this guy, I won't call his name, he was acting surly. And sorry about that. He was acting surly. And all of a sudden I said, I'm not going to retaliate. I'm just going to say, I love you, 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 I love you. So that's what I started doing. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Okay. So I would say about 2 or 3 days after this, my affirmations that I had hung up were all of a sudden ripped down. I would go to my manager and say, are you taking the affirmation down? I was like, oh no, I love the affirmation. So we're asking some of my coworkers, no, I'm not taking them down. So I had them in my hand, like some of the residue, some of the paper was still left up there. So I was cleaning it off, and he comes in, the guy, and he says, oh yeah, I'm taking those down. I don't like them. They're tacky. Oh my God. Immediately, I knew what I was doing was working. I said, okay, that's fine. Oh, normally, my reaction would have been on fire, okay? But instead, I knew this secret. I knew what I'm telling you right now. I started repeating, oh, it's working. I love you, I love you. I started repeating it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, just repeating that to myself. And then about another couple of days, he came by my office and he started showing me pictures of things he'd take out in nature. Odd. He wasn't friendly to anyone. He had never had a conversation with me at all. And then he asked me if I had kids, and I told him, yeah, I had a son. And at that time, John was young. He was probably 4. And he said that his wife, they had been trying to have kids, and she had had like 5 or 6 miscarriages, and how it was a strain on him and her because they really wanted kids, and now they were getting older. and he softened up. I didn't see his fear, which is his anger. It's just mass fear. That's all anger is. When a person treats you that way, or to have that kind of disposition of being mean, they're guarding themselves. That armor on him just began to kind of melt away, and he allowed me to see the human side of him. And he just said, I do this for therapy, to go out. I take pictures of butterflies. And I'm like, oh my God. He showed me his camera, and I looked at all the pictures, and he made me the most beautiful picture of a butterfly. He had it framed and everything. It was a monarch butterfly. My favorite. Is like a symbolism of who I am. And I still have that picture to this day. And that marked for me the power of love. That when you truly play through it, no matter what it looks like, keep doing what you're doing. That means it's working. Don't get fooled. Don't retaliate. Don't get back down on the level of the thing itself. Don't turn your light off. Keep your light on with love, affirmation, and the positive things you are doing. That means things are working. That means it's working out. When it looks bad, that means, oh my God, what I'm doing is working. So just mash the gas. Keep doing it. Play through it. And you will see beautiful manifestations coming into your life. I'm giving you a fair warning that this will happen to you. You stay on this path long enough, you're going to start getting pushback, but don't look at it as discouragement. Look at it as a sign of goodness, as that you're on the right track. You're doing the right thing, and keep it up. Okay. Oh my God. I love that quote. Play through it by Miles Davis. Today's affirmation: I have the power to change my situation. I have the power to change my situation. And you do. You have the power. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's quote, day number 9. And I hope to see each and every one of you for day number 10 tomorrow. If you want coaching information, you want me to work with you one-on-one, email me at naturalborncoach@hotmail.com. You guys have a great evening. Thank you for watching. I love you all. Bye-bye.